Hey guys, it's Vaness here with Notary to Notary, and in this video, we're going to be talking about, is the notary market oversaturated? Let's get started. Okay guys, so I'm sure you've seen videos, social media posts, things all over the place talking about how notaries are making six figures, and everybody, especially since the COVID pandemic, has been jumping into this space. And one thing that I've been seeing a lot on social media is the trend of the market is oversaturated and there's no point in getting into the market because there's no money to be made. Listen here. Okay, there is plenty of money to be made. This market, this industry has been around for years, way before me. Okay, this is an industry that I have been in since 2014 and love it. I've been doing it full time since 2016. When people say, is the market oversaturated, it's like one of those things. I feel like it's like a cop out. It's a way for you to, an excuse for you not to get into it because you're afraid that, oh, it's going to be too hard for me to make money because everybody's doing it. It's a little competition, but it's not something where you can get into it and not make any money. The best way to relate to this is realtors, right? How many realtors do you know? I know a lot. Okay, even before I became a notary, I knew realtors, right? Because realtors are everywhere. I guarantee you, if you get a room full of 30 people, at least 2 of them are realtors, okay? Realtors are everywhere. But you know what else? There are a lot of realtors who make no money. There are a lot of realtors who just make enough to, have some play money. There's some who make enough to do it full time. And then they're the ones that are killing it. They're the $1 million realtors. They're the ones that's like getting all the awards and all the accolades, right? Same thing with notary. In this space, you have people who have notary commissions who have not done a thing with it. They got the commission and it sits in a desk in their drawer and they don't make any money with it. Okay, and that's fine, to each his own, right? Then you have the notary who's like, okay, I just do them for my friends and family. Then you have the notary who's like, okay, I do it on the side. It just gives me like gas money here and there. You have the notary who then does it part-time. I do it outside of my full-time job, and it's good. It's good side money. It's a side gig, side hustle. Then you have the full-time notary. The full-time notary is the one that makes enough money to take care of his or her household expenses, right? Then you have the six-figure notary, okay? The six-figure notary is not the notary that just jumped into it and said, oh, I signed with one company and, they just put a little bit of work in and they walk away. Like realtors, right? You have realtors who get their realty license and they make some business cards and they might do a training or two and they pass out cards, maybe flyers for like 3 to 6 months, and then this didn't work out the way I intended. And the same thing is in every industry, especially when you get into entrepreneurship. A lot of people think that success is something that's just going to fall into your lap and all you got to do is sign up and everyone's going to pour money into you. That is not the way that works, okay? Now, of course, you can be like a one-hit wonder, like you get into it and it's miraculously everything just falls into place, but typically that's not the way that works. Some people that ask me, Vanessa, I want to get into your course. How much money can I make? People ask me that almost every day. They say, Vanessa, I'm going to take your training. How much money can I make? And I give the same answer all the time. So you might say, Vanessa, that is not a good answer. But it's the truth. It's something that I've learned from training I've been training since 2019, the notary space. And since I've been training every day, okay, for the past, 3-4 years, one thing I've learned is that people are going to do whatever they want to do. Okay, and one thing I always say is whatever result you get in life, regardless of if it's health, if it's relationships, if it's business, if it's finances, if it's your children, whatever result you're getting in life, it is a result of the system that you're using. If you want a different result, change the system. Whatever result you have in your life is because you put in place a system that is bringing you that result, right? And so people ask me, well, Vanessa, how much money can I make in it? I always say, well, there are notaries who take my course and make $0. And then there are notaries who take my course and make 6 figures. And then there's the ones that are in the middle. So it depends on where you want to be. It's completely 100,000% up to you. Period. Now, I'm going to give you all the tools. Now, I can teach you all day how to go out and make great money. But if you, one, don't follow the steps, two, follow the steps but do it lackluster, okay, or follow the steps but don't do it correctly. I'm flashbacking all my students. Love you guys, but some of you guys, come on, we got to get this together, okay? Or you're doing it, but you are not consistent with it. You do it when it's convenient for you. You do it when you're bored. You do it when you get mad with your job, and then next week you forget about it. You're sometimey. If you're sometimey, you get sometimey money, okay? And so what I will say is that the economy, the market for entrepreneurs, whatever you want to call that, the industry of working, okay, is never oversaturated when it comes to people who hustle, people who grind, people who will put in 1,000%, because most people won't do it. I was talking to a student of mine, might have been today or yesterday, and I was saying that I can tell you, and I actually heard someone else say it too, I can give you a step-by-step, which I do, every single thing for you to do. 80% of people won't do it, right? Because they get motivated, say, oh yeah, I want to do this, right? And then life happens, and then, the next day happens, and a bill comes up, or something else happens, and then you put it on the back burner. You get excited in the moment, but then that's it. And so that's why, I think it was like Wall Street Trapper said it. I think he said he could put everything he wants in the course, because, I think I hope it was him that said that. I listened to all his content. That said, most people will not. They'll read it. They'll read it. They'll get the content, but they won't execute on it. And if they do execute on it, they'll only try it once or twice or maybe even 3 times, and then they'll quit. I have students that say, well, I want to go to title companies, but apparently they're not hiring, or not hiring because you're not employed. They're not accepting anybody, because whenever I call or I go in, I always get rejected. And so I'll ask, how many have you talked to? 2, 3, maybe 5. What? Like, what is happening? And the best quote I heard, I forgot who said it, but the quote was basically like, when you're a baby, when you're a parent, you have a baby, and the baby is like learning to walk. You don't let that baby try 2, 3, 4, 5 times and say, you know what, this is just not for you, okay? Obviously, you're probably gonna be a crawler your whole life. Just don't do this anymore. No, you're like, no, you're going to walk, right? We're not giving up on this baby. But we don't take that same effort with us. Like, the idea that you're supposed to be good at something that you've never done before is insane. But people think that. And so they think, oh, I'm going to come into this industry, I'm going to make 6 figures tomorrow. How is that when you have no idea what you're doing? I am so confused, right? I did not make 6 figures tomorrow. Like, it was not like getting it next day, lots of money. No, it took a while. It took building. It took learning. It took mistake making. And that's really the case in almost any industry. Anybody who tells you you can get into this and make money tomorrow, be wary. And I say this too because a lot of people give MLMs a bad name. And they say, oh, MLMs are scams. I think what happens is, when these MLMs came out, a lot of the presentations that we went to, they'll be talking about, oh, you can make this much money and you get a car and a house and a ring and a watch and all this stuff, and you got blinded with the money, right? And when you got into it, you didn't make any. And so now it's a scam. But what you missed in the beginning was it's MLM, multi-level marketing. If you can't market, you're not making any money. Okay, so if you're already like, I don't know how to do sales and marketing, you're not going to make any money. That's what this whole industry is. And so that concept kind of applies to everything. Like, when you get into a space like notary and you've never been a notary, how are you going to expect to make 6 figures tomorrow? It's just it's not to say, I don't like to use the word unrealistic. What I like to say is, give yourself time and give yourself space and avoid the negative people, because if you go on Facebook groups and you go anywhere and just start talking about it, there's always going to be someone who says, oh, you can't make any money. And I guarantee you it's because they have not made any money. Either they did not try and they just said, oh, that looks scammy, I'm going to go this way. Or they tried and they didn't make any money. So what I always say is, don't get advice from people who don't have the results you're looking for. Why would you go into an orange field looking for apples? It doesn't make any sense. So what I always say is, before you find a coach, a trainer, a mentor, make sure that coach or trainer or mentor has the results that you're looking for. Have they done it consistently? Can they teach it to me? Are they going to teach it to me? These things can I learn from this person's teaching style? But give yourself that time and that space to get the material, implement it, and then see the results. And one thing I always say is, people say, like, let's say I tell you to do something and you do it and it doesn't work. Don't assume that, oh, this doesn't work. No. What you do is, let's say I tell you to do a Google business page and you do it, and then you say, I'm still not getting any calls. Typically, 99.99% of the time, you did it wrong, is what I've seen. Okay, so one thing can happen that I think a lot of people get messed up on is, you do it, you don't get the calls, and you never tell anybody. You just say, oh, that didn't work. When what you should have done is came back and say, hey, Vanessa, I tried this and I'm still not getting any work. Then I'll say, okay, well, let me see it. Let me see what you did. There's a lot I can tell you to do something, but the way I'm telling you to do it, you might see it differently, and you may have done it differently. And I'm like, oh, no, don't do that. I didn't say do it that way. Okay, bring it back in. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And so just don't give up on yourself. If you want to be in this industry, you want to be in this space, one thing I always tell all my students is, make a business plan. What do you want? Right? Be very clear, be very specific. If you set specific goals, you know what you're working towards. And then you know what is going to work and what's not. So I always say, like, set a monetary goal for like the month or the year, and then you can work backwards. You can say, okay, I want to make 10 grand this month. What is that a week? What is that a day? And then you can start to track what you're doing. But if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a why, when you go into these Facebook groups and people are saying, oh, the interest rates, there's no work, yada yada yada, you're going to get discouraged, right? So beware of the naysayers, avoid them, set your plan, set your goal, get some training, stay the course. Don't be lazy. Don't not do anything, because some of y'all tend to do that, right? And it's okay. What I always tell people, own that. If you are not doing things, own it. Don't make excuses. If you got this course, if you got my course or anybody's course, and you paid for it, you didn't do it, own that. Don't get the course and say, oh, this stuff doesn't work because you didn't do it. Just say, you know what? This is not that important to me. A lot of times, you got to really take an inventory of what is priority to you. The best way to know what is a priority to you, what is truly important to you, is to look at your day. Look at the 24 hours in your day and look at what you do consistently for about a week. Then you will see what is important to you. Then you will know not what you wrote on your vision board, not what you say out of your mouth, but your actions will tell you what is a priority to you. If you say it's a priority for you to build your notary business, a good amount of that time should be spent working on your notary business. If you say, my priority is to get in shape, there better be some working out and eating healthy in that time. If it's not, that's just lip service. You just talking a good talk because it's things you like, oh, this is what people say, this is what we're supposed to say. But the reality is that's not important to you, because if it was, it would fill up your time. There would be some blocks of working out or working on your notary business or whatever is important to you. So go ahead and do an analysis of what you've done in the past 7 days. If you didn't keep track, you don't know, start from here and go 7 days. Now, tomorrow, after you watch this, of course, that'd be a productive day because you're keeping track. But let the week keep going, okay? Let the week keep going. Your priorities will begin to show themselves, and then you will know what is truly important to you. So if you want building a notary business to be important to you, you need to invest in yourself, get some training, apply the principles, and stay the course, and avoid the naysayers. So no, this industry is not, okay, clear this up. There's a whole lot of notaries, okay? The industry is not oversaturated with determined, dedicated, consistent, persistent notaries, okay? And those are the ones that, yes, while the economy is doing its little shift, we're going to come out on the other side, continuing to make money, because we're not fly-by-night people. We're not just, oh, try this, and then try this, and then try this. No, we're invested, and we like what we do, we love what we do, and we're making great money. Okay, so decide where you're going to lie. You're either going to be in the whole lot of notaries, or you're going to be in the dedicated, consistent notary building business. Okay? Hope that helped you with the whole is the market oversaturated thing, because it's not. Okay? Plenty of money out here for all of us. For more training, definitely visit me online at notarytonotary.com. If you're just getting started, get into our ultimate notary bundle that's going to help you build your notary business from the ground all the way up to the sky. Okay? And until next time, happy signing.